This video is presented by Western and Southern Financial Group, a game plan for your financial future. Every great team starts with a strong foundation, and your future should too. With life insurance built like a championship roster, Western and Southern helps protect what matters most so you can focus on winning today while planning for tomorrow. Whether you're just starting out your journey, building your dynasty, or ready to retire like a champion, Western and Southern has the right play for your life stage. Visit westernsouthern.com to get your free life insurance quote today. Western and Southern, built to win.
Just because the regular season is almost up doesn't mean we're going to stop betting. We have futures that we're going over today to win the Super Bowl at 3 different prices. Eli Nagel joined with Ben Linsey. You know, just because the regular season's over doesn't mean we can stop betting.
Yeah, and you can get in ahead of Week 18 on some of these, where Week 18 you're trying to figure out who's playing, who cares, what third-string quarterback's going to be in the game. It's a good time to look ahead a little bit and bet on the stuff that everyone's excited about in the playoffs.
So how we're breaking these down is we are going to take one. We're going with 3 bets. One is going to be sub plus 1,000 odds. The other is going to be between plus 1,000 and plus 2,000. And then one team is going to be our long shot, which is going to be above plus 2,000. And so let's start us off right here with the favorite category, your sub plus 1,000 odd, Ben.
Yeah, I like Denver, and a lot of this is just the price. Like if you're looking at DraftKings on the Super Bowl futures, Denver is 3rd in Super Bowl odds at plus 700, but they're the team that has the best chance at the number 1 seed and that first round bye, because Seattle and San Francisco are playing Saturday for that. That game's kind of a toss-up. Denver, all they have to do is beat a Chargers team that is resting starters in Week 18, and they get the number 1 seed. And that's a big advantage. Denver, you get home field advantage in the playoffs. Denver's a good home field advantage with the altitude. It's a tough place to play. And we've seen them be able to control the line of scrimmage on both sides of the ball. They are first in team pass blocking grade this season. You can look at all the facet grades over in premium stats. They're first in team pass blocking grade, so they do a good job of protecting Bo Nix. And they also, on the other side of the line of scrimmage, do a great job of generating pressure and getting after the quarterback, defending the run. They're 3rd in EPA per play allowed against the run. They're also 3rd in overall team pressure rate. They're one of 2 teams in the NFL this season with 2 guys both in the top 10 in overall pressures, with Nick Bonito and Zach Allen. They're tied for 10th in the NFL. So they control the line of scrimmage on both sides of the ball. And this is an offense that I've had some concerns with the consistency with Bo Nix in the run game. Yeah. Will they be able to get that going throughout the playoffs? But with how well their defense plays, home field advantage, and Sean Payton calling plays, who I think is one of the better play callers in the league, I think this is a good price for Denver, getting in below teams like Seattle and the Rams, who have shorter odds in them.
I think this is probably the most interesting I think the AFC has been in the past few years. I mean, you have a playoff with no Lamar Jackson, no Patrick Mahomes, and you have a Bills team that is probably weaker than I would say we've seen in the past with them. So I think the best odds are going to be on these AFC teams. And I'd like to call out with Denver. I think you've got the potential to have the high upside in Bo Nix with Sean Payton calling the plays. And like you said, the line of scrimmage, it's hard to get better than what Denver's done so far this season. Let's move to your middle of the pack odds and give us your odds right now that are plus 1,300.
Yeah, and it's a team that we just saw beat Denver in Denver with the Jacksonville Jaguars. And I will call out the Broncos. We give them about a 15% chance to win the Super Bowl. The odds imply around a 13% chance, so that's one of the bigger edges just based off our power rankings and our simulations. The Jaguars were more about flat, but I like the way Jacksonville's been playing the last couple weeks to close the season. If you look the last 5 weeks, Trevor Lawrence is 2nd in the NFL in passing grade, and he's done it really attacking downfield. He has the 2nd highest average depth of target in the NFL over that stretch with a 10.7 yard average depth of target, and he's not putting the ball in harm's way. He only has a 1% turnover-worthy play rate, which is one of the best marks in the league over that 5-week stretch. And really, since they got Jacoby Myers and traded for him, this offense has kind of stepped up. And Brent Strange has come back from injury. He missed a little bit of time. Parker Washington's emerged in the slot. So even though they're down Travis Hunter, This is an offense, a passing offense specifically, that seems to be finding its stride. It's an offense where they can go to multiple places with the ball, kind of similar to what we saw a couple years ago when we thought Trevor Lawrence might have arrived and that offense was clicking and they made the playoffs. This is kind of a similar team where they're deep in terms of weapons they can get the ball to. The run game has stepped up a little bit with Liam Cohen coming over from Tampa Bay. So I like the way that this offense is playing. And then the defense, over that same 5-week stretch, they're third in EPA allowed per play. So this is a team that's kind of flown under the radar a little bit, but I think it's a team that's playing its best football and kind of hitting its stride. They're not super injured going into the playoffs. They really only that Travis Hunter injury, Jordan Lewis went down, but overall this is a pretty healthy team, and I like the way the defense is playing. Devin Lloyd on that defense has made a lot of plays, a lot of interceptions, a lot of plays on the ball. He's the only linebacker in the NFL this year with 80-plus grades as a run defender, as a pass rusher, and in coverage. So when you're kind of looking at their path to the Super Bowl, it looks like they're probably going to be the 3 seed, assuming Denver and New England take care of business this weekend. That gives them a matchup against either the Chargers or the Bills. I would like them in either of those matchups. And then they go to play New England. And New England's a team that has played really well this year. Drake May is the MVP favorite after Stafford threw a bunch of interceptions last week. But this is a Patriots team that hasn't really been tested. Their easiest strength of schedule this year. If you look at teams they've kind of played in playoff contention, it's really only Buffalo. They split those 2 games. They lost to Pittsburgh early in the season, a game they honestly probably should have won. They turned the ball over 5 or 6 times. And then a 5-point win versus the Bucks, who are playing for their playoff life, and a 4-point win versus the Ravens. All right, so the Jaguars would be arguably the best team they've played. So even on the road in Foxborough, I think they have a shot there. And like I said, we just saw them win in Denver.
Yeah, I think the Jags are probably my favorite of the call-outs here, just because, like you mentioned before, Trevor Lawrence is one of the hottest quarterbacks in the league the last 5 weeks. You kind of see it all click and come together for a longer stretch than we've seen thus far. And like you said, with those first-round matchups, I would like Jags in both of those, especially in the first round. I think Buffalo, obviously, you have the Josh Allen effect, where if there is going to be a lower seed kind of go on a run in the AFC, it's likely them just because of the Josh Allen effect. But, man, the call-out with New England especially, I think, is interesting, because I think no matter who ends up facing them, you're going to feel decent about it because of what you said with the strength of schedule that New England's gone this year. And then with Denver, yeah, the Jags have already proved that they can go into Denver and win. And they definitely do have a chip on their shoulder. After last week, they all of their social media has basically been the small market team comments and stuff. And I think that that's something to take in effect for sure. And let's hit on your last pick here with your long shot.
Yeah, we're going to go over to the NFC. I didn't want to leave the NFC completely out of this. And we are going with the Green Bay Packers at 22-1. And no one feels good about the Green Bay Packers right now. They're limping into the playoffs. They've lost a couple in a row. Micah Parsons went down. They're a little bit beat up. Hopefully, it looks like they should rest starters this week because they're not really playing for anything. They're locked into that 7 seed. So you get guys like Josh Jacobs, who's been on the injury report battling through serious injuries, it seems like, the last month of the season. Hopefully you get him a little bit healthier. Guys like Zach Tom, who have missed the last couple weeks, and you go into the playoffs a little bit healthier. And they're not not familiar with the number 7 seed, right? They've got it the last 2 years with Jordan Love and Matt LaFleur. They lost in the divisional round in 2023 after beating Dallas. They lost in the wild card round last year. I kind of like that experience. Like, I know it's a thing with NBA where you're talking about these young teams getting experience. Like, the Packers are kind of that way in the NFL, where they've been there. They've been in this spot the last couple of years. I think that does help a little bit. And they're explosive in the passing game while limiting explosives on defense in the passing game. And if I'm going to take a shot on a long shot, I want a team that has a good passing offense, can hit big plays in the passing game. And we've seen the Packers be able to do that. They're starting to get, I know Tucker Kraft went down, but you got Jaden Reed back a couple weeks ago. It looks like Christian Watson's going to be fine. Always a risk to go down again, but
of course.
He's been awesome coming back off that injury. So they're explosive in the passing game, and they limit explosives. They're 5th in explosive pass rate allowed on defense in the passing game. So you're going to make teams march down the field a little bit more. They just got destroyed by Derrick Henry in this Ravens run defense. That's not something that I think is going to happen consistently with this Green Bay team. We've seen their run defense be pretty solid for a lot of the year. And under Jeff Hafley, they've been excellent at rallying to the football and tackling, which I think is one of the more underrated aspects when we're looking at defense is just getting guys to the ground and not giving up big plays on these routine underneath passes. And over the last 2 seasons, they're first in yards after the catch per completion allowed. They're first in PFF tackling grade as a team this year. So I think when you're looking at kind of what you want to bet on from a long shot, this explosive offense, a good quarterback, a good passing game, and a defense that is not going to be able to get pressure at the same rate without Micah Parsons, but fundamentally has been pretty good kind of last week excluded.
Yeah, I think the interesting call out you have here is the potential round 2 matchup versus San Francisco. Do you want to dive into that for a little bit?
Yeah, and that's been kind of the boogeyman for this Packers team.
Yeah.
Matt LaFleur is 0-3 versus Kyle Shanahan in the playoffs. If San Francisco wins on Saturday and they are the 1 seed, and then Green Bay wins in the wild card round, that's who they'd be playing in the next round. But this is also a San Francisco team that defensively is not the same that we've seen the last couple of years. This has been one of the worst defenses in the NFL. That Monday night game or Sunday night game against the Bears was fireworks up and down the field.
Yeah.
San Francisco was just able to outlast Chicago there. But they're 31st in defensive success rate allowed this season. And then you look at the other side, the offense is very good, right? And I'm not necessarily saying that I'm expecting the offense to take a step back, but also since Purdy has come back, 5 of those 6 games have come against defenses ranked in the bottom half of the NFL in success rate. So they've had a very soft close to the season in terms of the defenses they faced. The only team in the top half was the Browns in a game where they really didn't have to do much on offense at all because Cleveland wasn't able to generate any offense and San Francisco was getting short fields. So I do think that there is a chance that if the Packers do play the 49ers, they can kind of get that monkey off of their back.
Yeah, I think the interesting part of the NFC is the Niners defense. I think with them potentially being the 1 seed, they might be one of the first 1 seeds in the past few years where you have massive concerns on one side of the ball. Like you pointed out, their defense has been really, really bad this year, but they've been so banged up. There is that potential to get Fred Warner back, so I think that is maybe a saving grace, but I don't know how much Fred Warner is going to be able to drag the number 31 ranked defense and success rate. So their team that you're going to look at in that second round, whether it is the Packers or whoever would end up facing them, that you might like the underdog in that matchup. But that's what we've got so far from Ben on our futures for the Super Bowl. We have the Broncos at plus 700. We have the Jaguars at plus 1,300. And we have the Packers as our long shot at plus 2,200. And just to make sure you can get your PFF Plus subscription right now with the data trusted by all 32 NFL teams. And I think we have extended our sale, so you can still get 30% off right now on the site. And make sure you check out the PFF Betting Show with Ben, Mason, and Judah. You can still use the code HOLIDAY30 that you see on the screen right now. But make sure you check out the show. We're still going on Friday, even though we've got some crazy matchups. But you know what that means? That's a chance to make some money. So we'll go live on Friday at 10 a.m. We'll see you guys then.
Everyone's got takes. Numbers have truth. And the truth is, most people are betting with emotion. Sportsbooks feed on it. TikTok gurus sell it. The hype machine runs on it. That's how you lose. PFF is different. You're betting with winning data. The same data trusted by all 32 NFL teams and the sharpest minds in the game. PFF betting tools take every prop, every matchup, every angle, and run them through our custom models. Built on the best football data in the world. What comes back is your edge. Simple, sharp, and built to win. Want to go deeper? PFF puts a pro-level analytics department in your hands, giving you the same insights teams use to find every advantage. Build your game plan with matchup analysis. Project every snap, every matchup, and every edge before kickoff. Because the smartest plays start long before Sunday. Hit rates show how a player performs against their prop and against defenses built the same way. It's the data that gives you real confidence in every pick. Next, Key Insights translates PFF data into the story behind every matchup, giving you the why that powers your bets. From coverage schemes to defensive looks, it's the context that turns raw numbers into winning decisions. When you're ready to take action, filter through every prop on the market and focus on the opportunities that matter, by game, matchup, or value. Then, shop for the best available line in your area and tap your book of choice to place the bet instantly. Everyone's got takes, but now you've got truth. Bet with data, win with PFF.